I did it for the love, I did it for the people, I did it for us.
Back on this rap-ish, I ain't even broke a sweat, homie, this practice. Pondering my next move, staring at my track list, hope I ain't miss my window. Praying like a Baptist, Seattle's own, tired of this Game of Thrones. They made a list of the best rappers and guess who wasn't on? While the disrespect continues, I'm steady packing these venues. Guess if you ain't at the table, you on the menu. And I'm that spitter, baby, they don't want you to see, but everybody's out to Capitol Hill's rocking with me. Boys smoke the trays and ponder getting their life together. I'm comfortable with my role, so I'm like, whatever. Me, I ain't got a job, but I work hard. And you don't work hard, but you got a job. The irony is I'm judged while you feel the applause. I'm slept on, that's why I had to set this alarm. My dudes is armed, I'm armed with this arm charm. Body banging like she got that cream from Barry Bonds. Yeah,
I did it for the city, I did it for the love, I did it for the people, I did it for us.
X-ray season is here, a real hitter with a mic, I'm everything that they fear. With that, hood ain't the same, I was all on their ass, I'm level-headed. So yo, my dudes love when I spaz, and I'm so over Seattle's passive-aggressive attitude. They don't call you back, what they really saying is F you. While I'm from the same place, I move at a different pace. I prefer if you just said it to my face, damn, I did it.
I did it for the city, I did it for the love, I did it for the people, I did it
I hate
for
these
us.
average dudes with they average spit, writing average rhymes, knocking average chicks. The closer I get, I can feel the people starting to shift. I'm loyal to a fault, and everybody can't come with. Rap's a rich man's game, I'm only playing with change. They bang models and singers, I'm knocking my own flame, I'm different. The crowd, I move with the chosen few. Black thoughts, I could be the front man for the roots. No diamonds and gold, I'm on my sticks and stones. If we can see your panty line, you should have on a thong. My team is strong, through this fire we forged a bond. And they already know what it is when I get on to the hearse. Party like it's December 31st. When I'm on my deathbed, I probably cracking my nurse. You ain't got the bars to compete, I'm a verbal athlete, deflating these boys so they say that I cheat. Damn, I did it.
I did it for the city, I did it for the love, I did it for the people, I did it for us.
Yeah. I should probably start by apologizing for the long wait, man. You know, I know I be tripping. But I'm not just a rapper, I'm an artist. And, you know, my creative process is a little bit different than most. Nonetheless, I want to welcome everybody out to the Dre's Experience. I got TCF in the building, my whole camp's here with me. I got the band in here laying this cool-ass vibe. And I'm Seattle's own. Let's get into it.
I just wanna live. God protect me. I just wanna live. I just wanna live.
Welcome everybody. Happy Monday. Happy Monday to all of y'all out there. Welcome to the Morning Update Show. I am your co-host, Trey Holiday, and it is a beautiful sunny Monday for all of us out there. I'm enjoying the sun. Hope you guys are too. And I'm also excited to start up another week of the Morning Update Show with all of y'all out there and bring you some amazing shows, starting with today and starting with my guy, Big O. What up, Big O?
Trey Holiday.
Hey, happy Monday, my friend.
Happy Monday to you too. How are you?
I'm doing well, doing amazing this morning. What about you?
Man, this was a great weekend. Yeah. I mean, you know, it's not often, and it should be more often, that we're like, yo, it was just thriving in like amazing positive blackness all across the city this weekend, and we're going to get into it.
Yes,
you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Good morning. I want to welcome everybody to the Morning Update Show. I remind you that right now is the perfect opportunity for you to tag and share the stream. Go ahead and tag and share the stream with people who you feel would appreciate culturally relevant news and information emanating from right here in the Emerald City. Want to give a big shout out to our partners over at the South Seattle Emerald and also KBCS 91.3 over at Bellevue College. Want to remind everybody as well, you can listen to the Morning Update Show anywhere that you listen to your favorite podcast. I think Ike's putting the link in the comments right now, but also Google, Spotify, iTunes, somewhere everywhere you can listen to the Morning Update Show. And people are listening, by the way.
Yeah, every time you give me a good update about this, I'm like, wow, who would have known that the Morning Update Show, which we know is so relegated to Seattle and King County, man, people are loving it all across the country and all across the world. It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, no, it's definitely growing fast. Man, it's no excuses season here. And there we go. That's the squad. I want to remind you that a great way to support Black-owned independent media while letting people know you're not going for it is to go to whereweconverge.com/shop and pick up your No Excuses t-shirt or sweatshirt today. Also want to remind everybody, as usual, we do every day, is that the vaccine is readily available in King County. We're putting a link there in the comments right now. Vaccine is free. It's accessible all across our county, really all across our state. But you can follow the link right there, and you can find locations where you can get the vaccine. And they have Moderna, Pfizer, and Johnson & Johnson. And, speaking on this vaccine, we said that we really wanted to have these discussions about vaccine and vaccine hesitancy. And we've been doing a lot of stories about people who got the vaccine. And actually, we'll put up this graphic right here from our blog. We talked to Adra Boo, who was just here the other day on Friday with that news about diggable planets, and Acacia Ayana. Both of them got vaccinated. You can read their stories at whereweconverge.com/post. But the conversation is important. There's a lot of people who are on the fence about the vaccine.
Yeah, the conversation continues with us here at Converge as we're, really, convening other opportunities to get folks' stories out there. I think, again, we keep saying it, but it is such a unique time. I mean, I've never lived through a pandemic like this, right, where it's been this massive, and I think it's so new to so many of us. Capturing the wide range of perspectives in our Black community is so important right now.
Yeah, no, it definitely is. And we're continuing the conversation. And like I said, we've got a lot of people who have been vaccinated, but we're also talking to people who have not. And some have hesitancy. I think the big portion is hesitancy because people who are the anti-vaxxers are anti-vaxxers. And, that's just a position that they've taken on the vaccine. But I think there's sitting there in the barbershop the other day, like I said, it's just conversation. A lot of conversation is, people just feel that they don't know enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, absolutely. And it's going to be interesting to hear more of those kind of perspectives because you're right. We have people that never take vaccinations. And, it's also creating this kind of polarizing discussion around, folks being like, well, I don't want to deal with people who are not vaccinated. I'm vaccinated. I just feel more comfortable. There's a lot of people looking at their own health and wellness at the heart of this issue,
All right. Got to give a big shout out to our people over at Market Street Shoes. You can visit them marketstreetshoes.com. And, man, Trey Holiday, I heard that the big fella himself, Jake Gravbrot, is taking them 2 size 15 feet that he got out there to Ballard today. He's actually shooting some stuff out there at Market Street Shoes. I'm trying to put in a request. Can you bring back something, Jake?
Size 8.5, Jake, for me. 8.5. Okay.
All right, so Market Street Shoes, you've been fair warned. The big fella's on his way with a big bag. So see if you can throw in a size 12 there. Also want to remind everybody, today is the 19th. If you have not got your ballot, if you live in King County, you need to contact King County Elections. We heard Director Julie Wise, don't be tardy for the party. You know what I'm saying? If you have not got your ballot, please contact King County Elections. I think it's 296-VOTE. But you should, if you live in King County, you should have gotten your ballot. And you also should have got the voter's guide. And we're going to talk about this tomorrow. I went into the voter's guide just like Julie Wise was saying. And man, there's hella people running.
Wow.
Yeah, there's actually a few more Black people running for mayor. I didn't even realize.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I got the voter's guide. I'm like, oh, what? So voter's guide is there. You know what I'm saying? There's lots of information that's in the voter's guide. You guys want to make sure that you're that you're on top of that. And man, you know, we need to raise the percentage this year for people who turn out. And, you know, in the county, there's lots of important races going on, but especially if you live here in the municipality of Seattle, and especially if you're someone who posts a lot and retweets and everything else, which is great and it's important. But man, if you really want to see the change here, you got to get out and vote. You know, it's the race for mayor, of course, which is like a lot of people in that race. The race for position 9 and position 8. People be sleeping on position 8 because I don't think that, you know, whoever's running against Mosqueda, if there is somebody that you don't really hear a lot about it. But, you know, position 8, which is citywide, position 9, which is citywide. And I want to bring this to people's attention real quick, Trey Holiday, if you got a second. I attended a meeting on gun violence in South Seattle on Friday, right? And it was a lot of heavy people in the room. And I brought it to people's attention in South Seattle that you don't only have one representative, which is Morales. You have 3 representatives, which is Morales, Gonzalez, and Mosqueda, because they're all in citywide positions. So, you know, be clear, when you guys want action down there in South Seattle, you have 3 elected officials who are responsible for D2. So you guys remember that. Morales, Gonzalez, and Mosqueda are all responsible for District 2.
Yeah, I'm glad that you put that point out there. Oh, people need to be able to connect with the folks that are really responsible for their districts. But also, don't forget about King County Council. You know, King County Council is also there for the entire county. So when we start looking at how those districts break down and how folks are there for certain areas, you guys be informed, be engaged, understand who those people are, because you have access to them as a citizen. We help put them in these seats. And again, Omari's wearing the shirt right now. No excuses whatsoever when it comes to how they're supposed to be supportive of those districts.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's real deal. It's no excuses. People forget, you know, and if you're not finding satisfaction, and this is for every single citizen in the city of Seattle, if you're not finding satisfaction with the council member who represents your district, you remember Mosqueda and Gonzalez also represent your district. So you have some recourse down there in city council. Every district, you got 3 representatives, man. And you know what I'm saying? That means 3 to hold accountable as well and make abreast of your concerns. That's their job. They're citywide. They represent you. Another thing here, we want to put this, Ike's going to go and put this in the link. I brought this up the other day, is that a lot of people want to submit their events and things like that to Converge. So we're launching an event calendar, and we're putting up the where people can submit. So you can submit a flyer, and you can submit all of those things as well. Ike's put that in the comments. Man, if you got an event coming up, because I'm saying, like, man, you can't just be DMing me it's overwhelming. You know, it's a lot going on, man. And so we've organized that process right there.
I gotta say a little something on that too, because I mean, I may not get a flood of emails, but when I'm out in community, people are always like, hey, you know, come on, sis, come on, Trey, like, get it. And so I love that, because literally as soon as we announced it, I have been sharing the fact that folks can go on our website and scroll down and find their place, you know, if they want to come on and talk to us about some things. I mean, I love that it's all aggregated now.
Yeah, no, we got it together. And then everybody, I want you to be very intentional right now. I want you to go and open your Instagram app, because we're trying to get the big fella to 10,000.
Unbelievable, man. He's the best player in the world. I'm glad he's on my side. And going into a game 7, you want the best player in the world on your side.
The backyard got mountains in it. I do not move until my accountant finish. Big mason jars, each one an ounce.
That's right, Trey Holiday. We need to get Jake Gravbrot to 10,000 followers on Instagram. It is at 9,200 right now.
I love this, man. I love this all the way. I'm not the greatest person on social media, but I definitely follow Jake. You're going to be in for a treat. Always some amazing imagery coming out of walk.into.the.light.
Hey, speaking of amazing imagery, we got some photos coming up here a little later in the show when Jake covered the massive monkeys that were down there in the CID, but also our gallery from the reunion on Union. It's taken a while because it's too many amazing shots, and so that's coming up this afternoon. We'll post those. Oh, and one other thing here too. Speaking of City Hall, I want to make sure and put this in. So the $30 million that the mayor's task force, they transmitted it over to the city council. It's on schedule to be heard tomorrow from Council Member Mosqueda's committee. We don't know if they're going to vote it out of committee tomorrow or not. But, you know, at that same meeting where I was at in South Seattle, I told people, man, follow this money. I said, you guys are so busy down here in the streets like you should be because they're doing important work that, man, they're not keeping an eye on City Hall. And speaking of that, big shout out to Kevin Schofield at SEC Insight because he's keeping an eye on it for me. But yeah, you know, I mean, this is people talked a lot of talk about Black Lives Mattering and everything else. Let's see how long it takes this $30 million to make it out of city council and make it to the city streets.
Absolutely. This is something that we have to follow. And, you know, I love what TK said when TK was on with us saying, you know, we need to also be able to follow it all the way. Let's make sure we're holding those accountable, whoever received the dollars. And, you know, one of the things I will say is that, you know, as the money got broken up and everybody was like, what's going on with the $100 million? It kind of got broken up. You know, this task force came out strong, man. They said, look, we got these recommendations. And Sharon was right here in our studio saying, man, we're not just giving the recommendations. We're following the process all the way through. It's important.
Yeah. And it is the responsibility of you, the tax-paying citizens here in the city of Seattle, to follow this money. You know what I'm saying? I'm in Seattle. We've been on an emotional roller coaster here for the last 1 year, and this was something that came out of the protests last summer, and so it's important we keep an eye on the city council, keep an eye on Councilmember Mosqueda because it's going to Mosqueda's committee, and then it gets voted out on the full council. I just want to see, you know, You, as usual, I just want to see how it plays out. We're going to report back on it in real time. But, you know, this hot potato is sitting down there in the council, and so let's see how fast they can get it out here to the streets. Before we take a break here, you know, it's sad news. You know what I'm saying? For sure, for all of us, for us hip-hop kids. Baby, you got what I need, but you say he's just a friend.
Oh, Biz Markie, forever beloved. And you're right. Oh, I mean, when you think about his impact, you know, Just a Friend was still playing on the radio today. So, I mean, clearly it was a legacy, a straight icon, no matter what. I don't care. People want to say one hit wonder, but he was actually in them streets. He was behind a lot of stuff, a lot more things. And that's one of the things people don't realize sometimes is there's a wide variety of ways that you can participate in the music industry. He was still embedded in it, man.
Nah, Biz is part and parcel of the culture. You know what I'm saying? That's just his most famous song, and clearly it should be there, one of the top 100 songs there on Billboard. But Biz was part and parcel of the culture, and it's definitely, so it's a loss to the culture. We got a Madaraka break right now, and we come back. We're going to be talking about cruise ships, reunion on Union, the Youth Achievement Center, and so much more. You're watching the Morning Update Show.
Madaraka Festival is back. Join us on July 25th for the first ever outdoors Madaraka Festival in the USA, featuring Grammy-nominated reggae legend Patu Banton, Seattle's own Drez, Austin Dean Ashford performing in Seattle for the first time, and many more. As always, all the proceeds from Madaraka Festival supports the efforts of One Vibe Africa in Kisumu, Kenya, and here in Seattle, Washington, where we are transforming our community one event at a time. Make sure you grab your free ticket. See you there.
First of all, I love when people just give us great commercials. That's fantastic. So Madaraka Festival is going on the 25th, and actually we're going to have some artists Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday who are performing at the Madaraka Festival, and it just gets bigger and bigger every year.
This is going to be exciting, and it's so great to see all of these amazing opportunities for us to experience artistry. I mean, that's something that I love so much because honestly, there is such great talent out there, and I'm thankful, man. I'm glad we have this commercial, so now I can stay tuned for the Madaraka Festival happening. Man, I'm excited.
Yeah, and one of the artists that's going to be here on the Morning Update show is Dre's. And Dre's is performing in the Madaraka Festival, and Dre's on our intro. You know what I'm saying? So it'll be exciting.
Yeah, we love Dre's here, and it's a great thing to be able to see him, as a part of this large festival. As they said, it's going to be, outside. I love the connection between Kenya and Seattle. I just learned in the last few years that, Kenya is the sister city to Seattle. So it's going to be beautiful that we're going to be able to have some of those artists right here in our studio. Man, I'm excited.
Yeah, no. Good stuff. All right, so we're right here on First and Washington, right on in between First and Alaskan Way, and you couldn't help but see these cruise ships. When you see the cruise ships up close, it's like, wow, it's amazing. Here's a clip right here from King 5 talking about the return of the cruise ships here to Seattle.
Standing tall at 10 stories, the Serenade of the Seas is set to be the first cruise ship to push away from Seattle since the start of the COVID-19 pandemic.
Oh, I love it because I want to take a cruise. So I get really excited to see that, life is coming back to normalcy.
A 7-day tour bound for Alaska marks the start of cruise season in Seattle and marks the latest return to post-pandemic life.
The most important thing is making sure our guests feel safe, because that really is going to give them this comfort level to relax and have a great vacation.
Earlier this month, Royal Caribbean testing the water with a simulated sail. A chance to work out new COVID-19 safety protocol.
Our vessels are not allowed to even go into Canadian waters.
The smaller companies feeling the impact too. The Victoria Clipper, known for its fast travel between Seattle and BC, still on hold, waiting on the all clear from the Canadian and U.S. governments.
We need to have a solid date that we can operate before we make that commitment.
A return to the water that means big money for the city and state. The Port of Seattle estimates each visiting ship brings with it an economic boost of $4.2 million, an industry that can't survive without passengers.
We both love cruising, but I think there's a little hesitancy because they keep coming up with variants. So until there's a little bit more data and you see a few more cruises in, I think we would probably wait.
The ships may be clear to leave the dock. The big question now, will consumer confidence follow? In Seattle, Sebastian Robertson, King 5 News.
You're so right. I mean, even when we were just down at the waterfront, we see this huge Norwegian cruise ship, and I'm thinking, wow, I mean, that's a lot of rooms that have to be filled, and ultimately, there's a lot still hesitancy, not just around folks who have been vaccinated, those who haven't, but really being in large crowds like that in a confined area. And so cruise really present a unique a unique opportunity for us to learn again from this time, because it is going to take, consumer confidence, as they said there, for those cruise ships to actually be activated. I mean, I love cruises too, but I don't know, man. I'm not sure yet if it's about my time to get on.
Yeah, I've never been on a cruise. So this one thing the global citizen has never done is been on a cruise. I might just hop on one of these. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I think it's important the cruise industry comes back, and what they did is, of course, they couldn't go to Canada. They still can't go to Canada. So actually, remember, we reported on that. The federal government changed the law to be able to let the cruise ships go between 2 American ports without stopping at an international port. But man, that $4.2 million is real, and you know what I'm saying, the city could use it. One interesting thing though, man, as and we'll get to this on Union and some of everything else, man, people are hitting the city and they want to get out and about, man. It would be real interesting how we can coordinate more tours and things like that for some of these cruise passengers come up there into the Central District, have a lunch at Communion, go over to Jimi Hendrix Park and some of everything else, because the tourist dollars are coming into the city, and it would be great to see some of those dollars reach up there into the Central District.
I agree 100%. I love that you even mentioned it, because, as you guys know, us being right here in Pioneer Square, as we talk about all the time, I'm starting to see so many walking tours happening again. We have that underground Seattle tour over here. Folks are traveling in the droves, and those tours, those walking tours, are getting quite large, right? And so, let's connect them to some of that historical context, showcasing the Central District, what it is now, giving them a little bit of history about what it used to be. I agree that we need more of that money kind of funneling in, but also really, educating tourists on the beauty of our city.
That is true. And I mean, you got to think a lot of tours happen right here 1 block from us on Yesler, where William Gross had a spot right there. But, straight up Yesler, you're into the Central District. Yeah. And so the Central District very well could be a viable location for a lot of these tourists that are coming here on the cruise ship. I mean, when you talk about, the legacy, Jimi Hendrix and Quincy Jones, and then there's a world famous Ezel's Famous Chicken, which Oprah, put on the map. Then you also have, Communion, one of the top 12 new restaurants in the world. There's lots of reasons for people to get off a boat and go up to the Central District.
There really is. And I got to say, a little bit of comedy in my head as O was talking about that. For those who want to take that, those walking tours, but also get a good hike in, Yesler is a perfect hill to do that, man. But the history of it, too, Skid Row. I mean, there's so much.
That's the Skid Row.
When you're talking about going up Yesler.
Yeah, I think maybe I got a few seconds here. So Yesler, that's the original Skid Row, and Henry Yesler was a big landowner here in the lumber business, and actually it was Henry Yesler who William Gross bought the land from right there off of Madison and Union, where the heart of the Central District, over like almost 140 years ago. But they called it Skid Row Yesler because they literally cut down the trees, skid them down the hill right here to the waterfront where there was mills, and they'd cut the wood and put it on the boats, and a lot of that early lumber went down to California, to Los Angeles and San Francisco, and of course further on up to Alaska and everything else. So that was Skid Row.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, again, a piece of our history here that, it's funny, I didn't realize it and learn it until I was an adult. So I love being able to give this education to my kids so they can understand the vibrancy of what the Central District really was. And when we're talking about creating that continuity of vibrancy even now, that's why it's so important when you have a restaurant like Communion and you can celebrate, something so iconic as being one of the top 12 restaurants in the world. I think you're right. Oh, there's a lot to draw folks up to the CD.
Yeah, no, of course. I'm a businessman. we need to figure it out with some of these tour operators. Talk to G Prez. I mean, he's got these buses and everything else, you know what I'm saying, and take people for, a tour, a cultural tour of the Central District, and a good eating tour too. So I'm gonna tell you, my crew. You remember that song, Somebody Somewhere, Best Beware of My Crew? Yeah. Yo, I'm going to show you my crew. Put this up here. This is Massive Monkees. That's my crew right there. Look how hard that. Ain't nobody messing with the Monkees, y'all. This is Jake Grabrot's photos from the CID, the Massive Monkees, on Saturday. And, man, it was a great time out there. You can find the full gallery on our Instagram and also on our Facebook page. Look at that. That's our squad, man. The Massive Monkees. We roll hard with the Monkees. And it was a great day out there for the little ones, man. I mean, they was out there getting it.
I love it because, again, this is the stuff that you want to see when you think about how there's so many amazing cultures to celebrate right here in the city. Massive Monkees has been holding it down for such a long time. I love to see them back out, connecting with community and connecting with the youth. It's something that they do in such a unique way. Look at that little girl. She had her feet up. She was ready, man. They're showcasing that they're out there, man, doing it, man. And you know what? Breaking ain't never going to die. You got crews like the Massive Monkees, man. It stays alive and well in our community. I just love seeing that.
Yeah, the best thing, Massive Monkees, again, when we talk about the culture, Massive Monkees are part and parcel of the culture.
Yeah.
It isn't like, oh, this is just some dance squad. Massive Monkees, part and parcel of the culture for sure. Would love to catch back up with that crew, get them on air. Speaking of the youth and the youth being the truth, the Camera Phone Collective, which is also just me and my iPhone, made its way out there to Columbia City on Sunday for the Youth Achievement Center block party.
Well, today we're having a block party to launch the Youth Achievement Center, which is housing co-located with services for young people here in the south end of Seattle.
First of all, I want to go on the record and say I know how to do the electric slide. You might have seen a little bit of fumbling, but that's Coach Dom's fault, not mine. So today we're out here launching the campaign for the Youth Achievement Center. The Youth Achievement Center is a housing and services development that we're working on right here in the heart of South Seattle, halfway between Rainier Vista and New Holly, where we have a lot of kids who are growing up in low-income situations, who don't have housing stability, and that's what we're trying to provide them here. A safe place to call home, co-located with all of the services to unlock their full potential.
We were able to acquire 2 pieces of property right here on MLK in one of the most highly gentrified areas in our community to build something that represents the black and brown community right here. We're going to house 100 youth and young adults in one facilities, and we're going to have a multi-service center in another facilities. Where we're housing young adults is going to be classrooms, computer labs, culinary arts kitchens, greenhouses, workout facilities. And what we're going to do is take young people through a process where they get to understand, number one, who they are, where they come from, which is very important because you don't know where you came from, you don't know where you're going. And number 3, we want to be able to provide them with some employment opportunities, and not just provide them with employment opportunities, but take them through series of trainings in the computer labs and the classrooms, have professionals come down and teach them how to get certified for the technology industry, the trade industry, getting into different business investments and learning from financial advisors and understanding how to invest in cryptocurrency and the stock market, just things like that, bro. Giving them a plan for their life, putting 3- and 5-year plans together and letting them live in these facilities. They'll be living there. They'll actually live in the facilities that they're learning in, so they don't have to go back into an environment that's unhealthy for them or unsafe for them. This environment is going to be a safe environment, an environment that will make them healthy, happy, whole, and successful, and will also provide resources for families in the community to come through one space and do a one-stop shop model, where they walk into this place and they're able to get all the resources they need: daycare, housing, employment training, help with rental assistance, food and utility assistance, whatever it takes, right? Mental health, physical health. If they walk into our facilities, we're going to have consultants and resource navigators there. So if we don't house that service in the space that they're in, we will call the service to them and they will come to us and serve our community. So our community doesn't have to navigate all these systems that have been so difficult for them to navigate, especially when you don't have the resources you need to navigate.
What's happening next? We're going to keep raising this money. We just got a $31,000 check from the Seahawks. Raised $20,000 over this last week. Our hope is by the end of today to get to $100,000 as we move towards $30 million to finish the development.
Wow. This is a beautiful thing, to be honest. I love seeing these kind of efforts happen from a community-rooted approach right here in our community, and I think that this is such a unique development. I mean, we see a lot of different developments happening, and this one right here, having a youth-centric focus. It's not just about building for the youth. It's building with the youth. As you can see there, the youth have been involved in the entire process, helping with the design, helping understand what programs and services they need in the space. You know, when they're talking about the space that they need in terms of living space, they've been helping with every single detail you can imagine. And this is something I'm always encouraging our developers and our architects, and to think about, is how we're doing more human-centric design. This stuff wasn't around when I was getting my degree in urban studies. It wasn't a thing. And I love seeing the explosion of it, because it really means that what we end up having in our communities are institutions that are looking at this from a holistic approach. This is such an amazing project. I encourage you guys to learn more. Youth Achievement Center, be a part of the process. Donate 5, 10, 20, 100, 1,000, whatever you got. Make sure we get this project done. This is is really something that is stemming from a beautiful community effort. And I can't wait to see this, them break ground, then be able to build this up and really provide these services to the youth. Man, kudos to you guys for really having the foresight and the energy to see this through. It's a beautiful project, though.
Yeah, no, you know, I like what Coach Dom was like, man, community needs to put some money in, put some skin in the game. You know what I'm saying? Whatever it might be, $5, 5,000, 500,000, you know what I'm saying? And we saw that the Seattle Seahawks stepped up. Put $31,000 into this initial round of funding here. The goal is $100,000. We're actually putting an article out later on here with an update for everybody on that. Trey.
Yes.
So we go from the youth to celebrating our elders and legacy families in the community. Here is the reunion on Union.
So today we have the reunion on Union happening right here in front of the Liberty Bank building on 24th and Union. We have blocked off 24th Avenue to bring legacy families from the Central District back here to commune with one another, reune with one another, and rejoice in the resilience of all of us Black families right here from the Central District.
All right. Let's make some noise for 140 years of Black people in the Central District of Seattle. Let's make some noise for that.
My mother was Mary Lee Ward, Mary's Dollhouse Cafe on 34th and Union from 1970 to 1977. My father was Raymond Ward. He had Valley Store and Valley Tavern from 1969 until 1983.
My daddy was born on Spruce Street in 1910. My grandmother came here from Tennessee in 1906. By herself, she came alone, and they actually had bought a farm on what is now Martin Luther King and Myrtle, where it used to be where the Rose Petal was. They had that whole block. They lost it in the Depression, but they bought it, and she would be a day later. That's how they bought that house.
You know, we have to actually see each other again, just like when we were growing up in the Central District and we would bump into each other in the grocery store, in the barbershop, in the beauty salon. You know, this is what it's about. It's about seeing the people that you grew up with.
My grandmother Ruth, who's down here today, her shop was right there where the FEDCO building is. It was on the back end of it. She was Jerry Curl Queen in the 80s. So for almost any of y'all who was getting Jerry Curls back then, I'm sure Ruth Holiday had her hands in your head, okay?
My father was the first Black bus driver to retire from Metro in Seattle.
I do.
My mother was the first electroencephalograph technician at Harborview Hospital.
Actually, I have two legacies. One of them is my uncle, Clinton Smith. He had the barbershop on 23rd and Marion. And then for my parents, Jack and Rosina Irvin, they were heavily involved in the credit union. Some of you might remember the credit union on 20th and Union.
Not from a real legacy family, but I am a legacy. Yeah, we came in 1975 to open up Salisbury Photography. So anybody here got some pictures from Salisbury Photography? I got the negatives.
Gentrification has made us be all the way dispersed throughout King County and throughout Washington. And so this is an opportunity for folks to come back, enjoy some amazing food by Black caterers and Black restaurateurs, and really remember all those good old days, because it's coming back to the Central District once again.
Africatown Community Land Trust, we're about building buildings, but buildings don't build community, people do. So we're about also building our community through the people. The people are the community.
You know what? There's nothing that can describe this more so than just pure joy. When you think about the term Black joy, this is what it is. You know, if you gather around here, walk around, you're seeing people hug each other, remember each other, tell stories and share times of the times were past, like they haven't seen each other in years. And so you're seeing so many people just remember one another, love on one another, and it's such beautiful, beautiful Black joy happening.
Man.
I just gotta say, I mean, I'm over here like, ooh, ooh. It was so good, man. And that was a great clip. Oh, you were out there. And we got our shout out too, because they were like, we know Treyana and Big O from Converge, the Morning Update Show. I mean, people are loving it, man. It was such a beautiful time.
Yeah, no, it was. It definitely was. And actually, we're going to talk about it a little bit more. We're going to take a quick break right now. When we come back, we're talking about revitalizing our community. You're watching the Morning Update Show.
Hey, everybody. We all know that COVID-19 has had a major impact on everything this year, even energy bills. Puget Sound Energy understands the ongoing struggle that's facing its customers. And this is why they're offering a COVID bill assistance program of up to $2,500 per qualified customer. If you or anyone you know are currently behind on energy bills, please contact PSC today to discuss all of the assistance options available. Visit psc.com/COVID to learn more.
Hey guys, it's Besa Gordon from Converge Media. You can catch me on my show Rewind with Besa, which airs every other Saturday at 2 p.m. anywhere you watch Converge Media. Now, I know a lot of us still have questions about the COVID-19 vaccine. However, here are a couple things you don't have to question. Everyone 12 years and older in Washington State are now eligible for the COVID-19 vaccine. It's free, and you don't even need insurance or citizenship status to get vaccinated. If you still have questions, and I know you probably do, you can visit kingcounty.gov/COVID for additional information. You can also call the King County COVID-19 call center at 206-477-3977 to get COVID-19 and the vaccination questions answered, get translation services if needed, set up an in-home vaccination appointment for yourself or someone you know may not be comfortable at a vaccination site due to a disability, anxiety, or other reasons. Look, with summer being here, now is the time to get all your COVID-19 vaccination questions answered so we can all get out the house and live our best lives again.
Welcome back to the Morning Update Show. So Trey, like we were saying that, this weekend it was really good. We see all this activity there in the South End and Columbia City around the Youth Achievement Center, and of course the reunion on Union. And I mean, that reunion on Union, it was real special. And what got me, and people saw it there in the video, was really all of these elders talking about, my dad was the first to do this, or my mom owned this business here and there. The sense of entrepreneurship that was once vibrant in our community. It was like, man, it really blew me away.
You know what? You're absolutely right, Omari. And when we kind of talked about how we wanted to structure, folks being able to share, we wanted to give people the mic just so that they could share. And, that was the first time that we had done that. And it was a beautiful thing to hear the wide variety of stories that we were able to capture. And also just not just that, but like folks that were breaking barriers, even in corporate America back then, being the first to do certain things in big corporations or small businesses. It was a beautiful thing to kind of hear it. And one of the stories I think that really struck me so much was a woman who just got released from prison the day before. And as she was coming through the Central District, she's like, where are our people at? And she said, we parked the car a block away. We walked up the hill and boom, I said, there's my people. And she had been in prison for years. And so for her, to come back to a Central District that has been transformed and changed so much for these transplants and new people coming in and new neighbors, she was like, where are my people? And she came through the reunion on Union and was just blown away by the fact that she realized we are still there and we still care about the heart of our community. No matter what gentrification vacation has done to us, there is a real vibrancy here to bring all that brilliance back. And Reunion on Union was a great example of that. It touched my heart.
Yeah, no, definitely. And, at the same time, there was a group of women who all graduated from Garfield, who all live out of the state, out of the country, moving all around the world. And they had just planned to, go to communion as part of their reunion here in Seattle. And of course, that was going on at the same time as the reunion on Union. And it was just really good to see all of, our people in such a positive space, a positive vibe, a safe space. And it really was, a reunion. I make a big deal about this because, it's a lot of times we're reporting on so many negative things that impact our community. Excuse me. So we have to make an extra effort to uplift when we see things like this. And so many people were like, man, this should just happen more often. Yeah. Because, moving around the neighborhood as a kid, that did happen often. It was like every weekend you go somewhere, whether it was Barnett Park or, or Judkins or anywhere there, man, people were always gathering, community was gathering. So it was really exceptional to see our community out in force like that.
Absolutely. And, kudos to Africatown Community Land Trust, man, for, really being like, nah, we're going to continue in this legacy. And thank you to all of the Black businesses, the restaurants. There was amazing vendors down the block and then up the block on Union. Shout out to Imani at Rooted 23, who was gathering vendors together. Shout out to all of the amazing food. It was great food. I got to say, I heard some of the elders say, man, this food was prepared with love, like they felt it. And it was so much more than I really could have ever imagined in terms of how it turned out, all the people that showed up, and just, kudos to those who did show up, because we could put on events like this all day, every day if we wanted to, but it doesn't matter if people don't come. And that's really the part that we have to make clear here, that it's on us as community members to be engaged. And I just love seeing that people really were engaged in this one. Oh, shout out to everybody who helped make this happen.
Yeah, no, definitely. We've got a short show today because we have all this production. We're shooting a lot of stuff. But before we get out of here, as usual, man, any last words?
Yeah, I just got to say, you guys, I'm going to continue to say it, and because we always need to hear it. There's so many opportunities for you to see yourself as a part of the solution, whether it is giving of your time, talent, and treasure to one organization that's already doing work, whether you get together with friends and you're like, we're just going to be educating our families. We're going to be the ones that are going to be the stewards of this information and bringing folks up to speed with real history of not just Seattle or King County, but America. I think so much of what we're in right now is this transformative time where we can all bring our energy into something that will create the solutions and really be the change that we want to see. Be a part of the solution, guys.
Yeah, good stuff. And follow the money. Again, there's 30 million. You got to imagine, we did so much reporting on the mayor, the $100 million pledge, and it's going to do this, and city council breaking it up, and then it goes over here, and then there's Black Brilliance, and then there's the Morales and the $30 million, and then the Superblock $30 million, the HSD $10 million, and now here's this other $30 million. Man, especially for people who made a lot of noise about this money and everything else, don't become a shrinking violet now. You know what I'm saying? See the process through. We'll keep an eye on City Council, on Mosqueda's committee meeting tomorrow, and we'll see if it gets voted out tomorrow or if they're going to hold on to it. But yeah, we need to see the process through. What do we got going on today? It was just all these shoots, huh?
Lots of shoots, man.
Yeah. Man, we got a lot. We got a lot of stuff. No programming notes though, but I will tell you this though. So we have photos from Reunion on Union that are getting ready to go up, and then also we've got an article about the Youth Achievement Center and about the Reunion on Union. Those will both be up later on today. Man, as usual, appreciate everybody's support. And on that note, go forward. See, that's the why though. There you go. Well, this is good. Oh, did a good job. And by the way, everybody, so my son, Omi, this is his very first day directing the Morning Update show by himself. Good job, son.
Great job.
You're over there doing it. All right. Go forward in your purpose. Go forward in your humanity. And until tomorrow at 11 a.m., peace.
Lift every voice and sing till earth in heaven ring with the harmonies of liberty. Let our rejoicing rise as the listening skies. Let it resound loud as the rolling sea. Sing a song full of the faith that the dark past has taught us. Sing a song full of the hope that the present has brought us. Facing the rising sun.